Welcome to the deep dive. We're here to cut through some of that noise around money and, well, hopefully bring you insights that actually stick. Let's face it, financial freedom, that phrase gets thrown around a lot, doesn't it? But often it feels, I don't know, just out of reach, like a mirage. We all have this dream, right? A life where money isn't this constant heavy thing, where we
Exactly.
control our own time, make our own choices. But figuring out how to get there, it's like navigating a maze blindfolded. Save this, invest that, cut here, hustle more. It's just overwhelming. And honestly, it can feel pretty disheartening sometimes. So today we're going deep. We're taking a fresh look at what that path might really involve, using insights from a source that, well, it challenges some pretty common ideas. Our mission for you today, explore this thing called the path to financial freedom. We want to pull out the really key nuggets of wisdom. Think of it as a shortcut, maybe, to understanding what financial freedom actually means and look how you might genuinely achieve it, not just daydream about it. And this isn't about, quick fixes or anything like that. It's more about a fundamental shift in how you look at things.
Exactly. And that shift, that's precisely what makes this particular path so interesting, I think. It's really not just another list of budgeting tricks or investment tips you've heard 1,000 times. This source, it fundamentally redefines what wealth is and moves way beyond the surface level stuff. And it offers a more holistic approach to building a life where you're truly independent financially. It definitely pushes you to question your assumptions about success, about security, all of it.
Okay, let's dive straight in then, because the very first idea the source puts out there, it really turns the traditional view of being rich on its head. It basically says true wealth isn't about how much you earn, not primarily anyway. It defines wealth as passive income exceeding your expenditure. Just let that sink in for a second. Passive income more than what you spend. And this immediately highlights something kind of surprising, right? You see these people earning huge salaries, six figures, seven figures even, but they're still stressed about money. Why? Well, because their spending keeps pace or outpaces what they bring in actively. So it really challenges that idea that a big paycheck automatically equals freedom. But I have to ask,
Mm.
isn't there a potential downside here? If we focus only on passive income, do we maybe miss the value of a high earning career? How does the source square that?
That's a really important point. And it's a common way people might misunderstand it, I think. See, the source isn't saying active income is bad. Not at all. Rather, it's focusing on the purpose of that income. What's it for? A high active income is fantastic fuel. It's the engine starter, you could say, for building passive income streams. The tension comes in when all that fuel just gets burned up immediately. Lifestyle inflation, right? Instead of being used strategically to buy or build assets that make money without you having to constantly work for it. The hardest part for a lot of people, I suspect, is really internalizing that true wealth by this definition. It isn't about flashy spending. It's not about having a massive bank account that needs endless effort just to keep it topped up. It's about freedom. Freedom from needing that active job, gaining control over your time, and ultimately, yeah, finding some real peace of mind, which is, let's be honest, a pretty different benchmark for success than what we usually hear. It's almost countercultural.
Control and peace of mind. Yeah, that sounds almost like a fantasy to a lot of people listening, I bet. What do you think is the biggest, psychological hurdle? Just to even start building towards that, especially when the first steps feel so small compared to the big goal. Okay, so if that's the big dream, how do we actually start laying the groundwork? The source gets really practical here. It lays out some foundational steps. The first one is all about mastery. It really hammers home the importance of focusing. Picking one primary skill and getting genuinely deeply good at it, achieving real mastery. And the why behind this is crucial. It argues that becoming truly exceptional at one specific thing is how you create significant, unique value. And that's what leads to significant income in the marketplace. It's not about being okay at lots of things, it's about being undeniably excellent at your thing. But how do you even figure out what the thing is? Especially now, the world changes so fast, everyone needs multiple skills. Is it just about following your passion? Or does market demand play a bigger role? And what about, the risk of specializing too much? Does the source talk about that?
It's just a blend, really. Passion helps, definitely. It fuels the hard work needed for mastery, but mastery really flourishes where passion meets, well, what the market actually needs and values, and where you have some natural aptitude, perhaps. It's about finding that sweet spot, that intersection, and the risk of over-specialization. It's actually mitigated by the depth of your skill. See, when you have deep expertise in a niche, you're not easily stropped out. You become harder to replace, and that gives you incredible leverage. You can charge more, you can innovate, you can build systems others can't because they haven't gone that deep. So this deep expertise, it becomes this powerful engine for generating income. It's very different from just having a broad, shallow skill set like, frankly, many people do. It's about becoming indispensable in your chosen area.
Okay. Indispensable. So you've got this valuable skill, you're generating good income. Now, here's where it gets really interesting for me. The second pillar, something you probably wouldn't connect with finance right away, practicing stoicism.
Seems unlikely, right?
Yeah. But the source defines it in really practical, like day-to-day financial terms. It means controlling your spending, saving diligently, making conscious choices, resisting those impulsive buys, intentionally living below your means. Like, imagine choosing not to get the newest phone or skipping the fancy coffee every single day, not because you absolutely can't afford it, but because you've consciously decided your long-term freedom matters more than that immediate little hit of gratification. That's stoicism in action, financially speaking. But let's be real. We live in a society where rich often looks like instant gratification, doesn't it? How hard is it for people to actually embrace this mindset, to choose discipline over the next shiny object?
That is the core challenge, isn't it? It's huge. Consumer culture constantly pushes us towards now. Buy now, enjoy now. The Stoic approach, though, it builds this incredible psychological resilience and intentionality. It's about really seeing the difference between what you need and what you just want, and then consciously choosing to make your spending align with your deeper values, your long-term goals, not just fleeting desires. It's a powerful counterstory to all the impulse spending that's so common today. It gives you a strong mental framework. It's not about, like, punishing yourself or depriving yourself just for the sake of it. It's about purposeful allocation. Using your resources deliberately, that gives you real control. It makes you ask that question, okay, does buying this actually help my long-term freedom? Or is it just another want?
Purposeful allocation. I like that. And the third foundational pillar builds right on that discipline, doesn't it? Leveraging time through compound interest.
Ah, yes, the magic.
The magic. People call it the eighth wonder of the world, but I think many still don't really get how powerful it is. It sounds slow. How does the source explain it? Is there a vivid way it shows how this exponential growth actually works? Beyond just saying, save consistently.
Yeah, it uses a pretty powerful analogy, actually. Makes the magic feel more tangible. Imagine you invest just, say, $10 a day. Okay, that's roughly a fancy coffee and maybe a pastry, right?
Right. Easily done for many.
Easily done. Now, do that for 30 years, and let's assume a pretty modest return, maybe 7% a year on average. You haven't just saved the $109,500 you actively put in over those 3 decades. Thanks to the power of compounding your earnings or earning their own earnings that could potentially grow to over $500,000.
Wow. Just from $10 a day.
Exactly. The real magic happens when your money starts earning more each year than your active contributions do. That's the tipping point. It's definitely a test of patience. It feels slow at first, but the rewards down the line can be completely disproportionate. It just shows that consistency, even with small amounts, can genuinely transform your financial future if you give it enough time.
Okay, so we have mastery creating income, stoicism protecting the outflow, and compounding doing the heavy lifting over decades. That feels like a solid foundation. But even a strong house needs protection, right? And maybe room to expand. How does the source talk about protecting and growing this freedom once you start building it?
It's not just about piling up money. It's also about keeping it safe and making it grow further. First up, for a really robust strategy, the source stresses diversification in investments, specifically to manage risk. We hear that word diversification all the time. But what does the source say about common mistakes people make? Like, can you over-diversify? Or do it badly, thinking you're safe when you're actually not? Oh, absolutely. That's a key point the source makes. Everyone nods along about diversification, but it's often really misunderstood. True diversification isn't just about owning, like, 50 different stocks instead of 10. It's about spreading your money across genuinely different types of assets, things that don't all move up or down together. Different asset classes, different countries, different industries. A common mistake is what some people call diversification.
Diversification.
Where you hold too many things that are actually quite similar. Or you just keep adding more investments without really understanding how they interact. You might feel safer because you own more stuff, but you could just be diluting your potential returns without actually lowering your real risk. So the why behind smart diversification, it isn't just some technical finance term. It's a strategic shield. It protects you against those unexpected market crashes or economic downturns. It ensures the long-term stability of your wealth, prevents one bad event from completely wrecking your plan. It's about building resilience into your wealth strategy, not just chasing the highest possible number.
Resilience. That makes perfect sense. Okay, next up, and this one feels less obvious, but the source says it's just as vital. Cultivating strong character and generosity.
Right. Seems disconnected from finance at first glance.
Totally. I mean, these feel like personal qualities, not financial tools. How on earth are they integral to financial well-being? Especially when, the business world sometimes seems to reward ruthless competition. How does being a good person, being generous, actually translate into, tangible financial benefits?
Well, what's fascinating here is how the source makes that direct link. It connects character and generosity to building social capital and trust. And these things, while they're intangible, they are incredibly powerful assets in the long run.
Social capital.
Yeah, think about it. Strong relationships, this kind built on integrity, on genuinely helping others without immediately expecting something back. Those relationships can open doors, unexpected doors, to collaborations, partnerships, maybe even investment opportunities you'd never hear about otherwise. Who did you rather do business with? Someone you know is honest and fair, maybe even generous, or someone who's purely out for themselves?
No brainer, yeah.
Exactly. So this builds a kind of supportive ecosystem around you and your financial journey, a network of trust. That network can be invaluable when you face challenges, when you're looking for new ideas or seeking advice. It's like an investment in your community, in your network, that often pays back way more than just financial assets alone could.
That's a really interesting perspective, investing in your network through character. Okay, let's shift gears slightly. Let's talk about a specific and honestly pretty provocative point the source makes. It directly challenges something many people see as a non-negotiable. It critiques spending huge amounts of money on private education.
Yes. That one definitely raises eyebrows.
Right, because for so many parents, that's the dream. It feels like the absolute best investment you can make in your child's future. It's deeply emotional, but the source throws out this powerful financial alternative. It asks you to imagine, what if, instead of spending all that money, often serious six-figure sums on private school tuition, what if you invested that exact same amount for your children instead?
A direct comparison.
Exactly. The argument is that this alternative path could give those children significant financial security later on, like potentially setting them up with a really substantial nest egg by the time they're adults.
A nest egg that could far outweigh the purely financial edge, if any, gained from the private education itself.
It's a really concrete example of the source's whole philosophy, isn't it? Prioritize long-term financial power over maybe more immediate, culturally valued spending. It forces you to look past the prestige, perhaps, and focus on the bottom line financial impact down the road.
At this point, it's really designed to make you think critically about trade-offs, especially with these big emotionally loaded decisions. The source isn't necessarily saying one type of education is inherently better than another in terms of quality. It's purely presenting a stark financial comparison.
Right, it's about the money.
It's about the money. It challenges us to weigh those immediate perceived benefits, maybe networking, maybe specific opportunities, against the long-term financial empowerment that could be gained. Think about the potential impact of that alternative. Giving a child a significant capital base early in life, that's a massive head start on their own journey to financial freedom.
Yeah, that could change everything for them.
It really could. It shifts the focus, doesn't it? From an expense that might provide some competitive advantage to an investment that will provide fundamental financial security. It's a different calculation.
Okay, so wrapping this up, what does this all mean for you listening right now, thinking about your own situation? We've covered quite a bit today from the path to financial freedom. We started by basically redefining wealth, not just income, but passive income covering your spending. That challenges the high salary equals freedom myth. Then we looked at those core building blocks. Really mastering a skill to create value, practicing that stoic discipline, that intentionality with spending, and harnessing the almost magical power of compound interest over time.
Patience and consistency.
Exactly. Then we talked about protecting and expanding that smart diversification to manage risk. And maybe surprisingly, the value of building strong character and generosity as a form of social capital.
Right, the network effect.
And finally, that really thought-provoking challenge, rethinking huge expenses like private education maybe, and considering the investment alternative instead.
Look, this is definitely a journey, right? Not some overnight fix. And it's going to look different for everyone. So I'd encourage you, just think about which of these ideas resonates most with you right now. Where could you maybe start? Is it doubling down on mastering their one key skill? Is it perhaps applying a bit more stoic thinking to, I don't know, one specific area of your budget? Or maybe just doing the math, calculating the long-term impact of investing a sum you currently spend almost automatically? Just start somewhere that feels meaningful. See what shifts.
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive. Some really powerful, sometimes challenging ideas here from the path to financial freedom.
Maybe a final thought to leave you with. Consider that true financial freedom, the kind these insights point towards. It isn't just about hitting a certain number in your bank account. It's really about the profound freedom that money buys you. Freedom to choose how you spend your most precious assets, your time and your energy. So ask yourself, what part of your life right now could benefit most from this kind of radical shift, this different way of defining and pursuing wealth?
That is a powerful thought to sit with. We really hope these insights offer a new lens, a new perspective on your own financial path. Keep reflecting, keep questioning, and keep deep diving.